How did Digiorno revolutionize pizza?
The answer is in the crust. These are sauce, cheese, and dough. That's right, this is a pizza, but flash frozen like Han Solo to preserve his freshness. They're made in Wisconsin and Chicago with California-grown tomatoes, but they were not the first frozen pizza brand to exist. In the 1950s, more people in the United States started owning freezers at home, and one of the first thoughts they had when seeing them, why isn't there a pizza in there? So in 1950, a man in Philadelphia named Joseph Bucci filed the first patent for a process to freeze pizzas, and within a few years, local pizza shops were selling frozen pizzas directly from their stores or to grocery stores to resell. Then in 1962 came the first nationwide heavy hitter in the frozen pizza game, Totino's, who was a real person, followed by Mama Celeste, who was a real person, Red Baron, who was a real person, and Tombstone, which was a real tombstone. So by the 90s, frozen pizza was a big business, but there was one small problem. All these pizzas sucked. The freezing process required the dough to be dehydrated so that it wouldn't get soggy from the sauce, so when reheated, they were at best cracker-like crunchy and at worst chewy and tough. America couldn't head into the 21st century like this. Enter an employee at Kraft named Arthur Reingold, who got the wild notion to try to create a frozen pizza that actually tasted like pizza. For this, he recruited Frank Cole, who was a food scientist at Kraft who had been developing a new technology for freezing dough. The method they came up with was able to keep the dough hydrated but not soggy and vacuum sealed so that when it was baked, the crust would be risen. Hallelujah. This is their famous rising crust, which revolutionized the frozen pizza industry. They started selling them in 1995 and called it Digiorno, suggesting something freshly baked that day. The quality was so much higher than the competitors that one would not be faulted for believing it was delivery, but nay, 'tis Digiorno. Within 3 years, they became the #1 frozen pizza brand, where they remain to this day, accounting for almost half of all the total frozen pizzas sold, and all of the loneliest dinners I've ever had. My review? Let's be honest, this really isn't bad. It's not great pizza, but it's certainly better than most frozen pizzas, and honestly, it's as good or better than a lot of actual pizza places. The crust rises as promised, the cheese is good, could maybe use more sauce, but for what it is, my rating is 3.5 out of 5 slices.